Miyelani Mkhabela is the chief economist at Antswisa Capital. He joins us now to discuss. A very good evening to you, sir. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks, and the listeners of SABC and the viewers of SABC, sir.
All right, you're welcome. What's your reaction to the SARS Commissioner's statement that electricity supply issues at Eskom and logistical challenges at Transnet are costing fiscus in excess of 200 billion rand? I mean, that's quite a huge number, isn't it?
I think this we can look at it from spillovers that, one, they might be coming from, I would say, the challenges that the country has been having, which is low growth, COVID-19, war, like all these supply chain bottlenecks. And when all these aspects are affecting the economy, it can be corporates are affected. That is one. Two, you find that as well, individuals are affected because a lot of them have lost jobs. But at times you find that we don't really look at quantifying the impact of that when it comes to revenue. While as well you find that the estimates that are being made or the targets that are being made are not imputing the practical challenges that we are facing as a country. And at the end of the day, you find that the targets that we set are not practically feasible to realize because they are not in line with the economic situation. You know, we stagnated before COVID-19, but I will say it is worse with the loss of jobs. And some of the people who were in senior management, executive management, and junior management who could probably come up with, reasonable fiscal or revenue have lost jobs. Yeah. Big companies, they have lost projects. Small businesses have closed. So when you look at all that, it gets to affect individual income tax, and at the same time, it comes to affect value-added tax, which these are the two key contributors of our revenue, individual income tax and value-added tax, which corporate tax comes in third. But all these spheres have been affected.
I think you've already touched on where I wanted to go with my next question, which was, for you to paint, the sort of worst case scenario in terms of us talking about what's the trickle down effect of all of this on individuals. I mean, we talk about the economy, but, really what it says to us as average individuals.
If you can probably rephrase your question.
No, in terms of the fact that, you were painting in a picture for us there of what the worst case scenario is for individuals. But I'd like you to expand on that because that was my next question in terms of what the trickle down effect of all of this really is on us.
Yeah, so when you look at individuals, immediately individual or personal income tax is the biggest pie share to our revenue. So if we have lost so many jobs and then the country as well is not able to create more jobs, unemployment is high, we have lost more jobs. So you look at the biggest contributor to our revenue having shaken so bad because let's say we lost around 3 million jobs, and that on its own is really a huge number. But since COVID-19, we have been managed to be creating jobs as expected, and that goes to as well affect value-added tax, which is the second tax contributor, because when a lot of people have lost jobs, let's say 3 million people, where will the retailers or any VAT be generated from? Because a large number from personal income tax and at the same time from VAT, that portion is losing a big fraction. And I think that is, in terms of my analysis, that is where the problem is. But at the same time, you find National Treasury and South African Revenue Services, they are not making their projections and estimates in a perfect way, in line with the calculation or the probabilities that the shift might have, impacted the economy. But at the same time, economic growth, is not there. So if we stagnated, where will we get revenue?
Yeah, exactly. I heard the SARS commissioner talking about, the fact that combined between Eskom and Transnet operating at the loss that they are, that there needs to be focused effort to reconceptualize and fix. I mean, what does that mean, and how do we do that? I think he mentioned some suggestions. Two that I heard there was he spoke about increasing rates. And then he said the other option, of course, and that's an indictment on SARS, he said, well, run SARS office more efficiently. So, what exactly are the solutions there? Because, I would think that increasing rates is not feasible. And as he mentioned, in the long run, it isn't feasible when we look at, what that means for individuals.
I think sometimes you get to see the problem. And then you find that, the bad situation, if your intelligence or your strategic thinking allows you to see the problem, but you don't see the solution, it becomes a challenge, in many times. And I think this is something that I have been seeing from 2013, 2014. Our leaders are sometimes able to see the problem, but they are unable to see what could be the best solution to respond on that. And you find that they move and look at things that are not related. I really wouldn't think the thinking was at its perfect proposition to think about that, but it's something that is really short-sighted, in a way. But they could look at what are the things that are causing the impact, and when you see that with a full view, then you will be able to come up with a perfect solution. But that, I think, it is too right, and I would say they did not really understand perfectly or with a full view what is the exact problem, so that they come with an exact solution that could solve that problem. I think those are some of the things that I think he ended up suggesting that, but that is not a firm proposition.
All right. Miyelani Mkhabela, many thanks to you, sir. We appreciate your time.